Well, hello everybody. I am sitting here with the River Reset 30 crew, and we have been being trained in what it looks like to walk in godliness and to multiply discipleship on our campuses back home, namely helping student athletes get free from pornography, because I believe it's the Great Commission issue of our day. And today we have the GOAT with us, the porn guy. Ted Shimer, founder of the Freedom Fight, and so it's kind of cool. Anybody know? We actually wanted him to wear the black shirt today, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But Ted has been, dude, pivotal, and I think the discipleship of the church. So I think, and I told you that, guys, this 20 years, we're going to look back and see what Ted's done with the Freedom Fight and say that was a game changer for Christianity, because we've had a whole generation of guys get locked up into pornography. And man, dude, thank you for what you've done for the body of Christ and helping them. So if you don't mind, you have taught us a bunch of stuff this week. You taught our campuses a bunch of stuff virtually through your videos and your content. We'd like to interview you. If that's all right. What are some questions you guys have for the GOAT that we kind of talked about earlier in the week?
Yep. Go ahead,
Noah. Yeah, I think I just want to say, first of all, thanks for being down here, Ted. We really appreciate the study that you just led us through. But I really want to know, so you're on staff, right, with the ministry, and then you make this decision and you start the Freedom Fight group. I want to know what you saw in the students that you were meeting with consistently that inspired you or maybe even convicted you to start such a thing.
Yeah, no, great question. It was really, man, in the early to mid 2000s, we just started seeing, more and more of our male student leaders being disqualified from leadership because of a struggle with pornography. And man, these were guys who loved God and hated their sin, and yet they kept going back to it. And we're like, man, we're either going to lower our standards for leadership, or we're not going to have leaders, right, or we're going to address this issue. And because when you think of, man, the Great Commission, when Jesus, that part of it where he says, teaching them to obey everything I've commanded, and it's like, man, if we're not teaching students to obey in this area, then we have a huge gap in our discipleship. And so, man, there was some fear, as a ministry. It was in 2007. We identified pornography as the biggest obstacle to us, fulfilling our mission of building spiritual leaders for Christ. And man, we just recognized that, man, our discipleship has to address this. And so it was really in 2007 that's when I kind of started my deep dive into this topic, just really learning all I could, because, man, we knew we needed to address it.
That's good.
And what did we just learn about that happened in 2007?
The
Smartphones came out.
Ironically,
perfect timing. Good job.
Ironically, maybe the Lord was, because we didn't even know about the iPhone.
Exactly.
We thought it was bad then.
Exactly.
And it was about to get dramatically worse.
Yeah. Who else got a question for Ted?
I got one about, for those of you guys who are on the video who haven't been a part of Freedom Fight. Freedom Fight is packed with this amazing curriculum that you guys have created, just statistical facts, studies, and just biology, like everything. What was that like in creating what we know or what we have now as, I guess, this Freedom Fight study guide? Like, what was that like creating this in the midst of, like you said, you were full-time with another ministry and gathering other people to help you and gathering all the info we need? What was that like? Did you have a big bulletin board where you piecing everything together? Like, what was it like creating what we have now?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And it really kind of started off experimentally in the sense of I started walking with different staff and students through different programs and, online programs, sending guys a certified sex addiction therapist. We even sent one staff guy out to California for a 1-month live-in program.
Wow.
And I always say, man, when you start sending people to California for help, you're desperate.
Is that right, Jimani?
Go, Jimani.
which I was born in California, so don't take it personally. But man, kind of through the process, we begin to identify, hey, what are the principles, and man, all of these, because I've probably been through 20 plus resources or programs but it's, hey, what are the principles that are biblically based, scientifically informed with brain science, clinically sound, gospel centered, and effective. And we started using these with our staff and students, and a lot of our staff were like, hey man, so it was like a 10-year process of kind of identifying, man, hey, these are the principles. And then it got to the point, because what we started seeing is not just guys finding freedom, but man, it was just deep growth and discipleship was taking place, frankly, at a level we hadn't seen before. Just the life transformation that has to happen for somebody to outgrow pornography. It was just significant. And so we're like, man, we need to put these in a more user-friendly format. And so it was really in 2015 that we're like, hey, we need to put this in a program. And so, it was about 8 years before that, kind of, putting it all together, and then, 2 years of filming and that kind of thing.
When people ask me about the Freedom Fight, I always tell them, I think what Ted and his team have done is taken all the world's best recovery programs and principles and simplified it and digitized it and make it reproducible. And that's really what we need. I mean, it's going to be very hard sell for me to go up to a guy and say, hey, I can help you get free. Join me on this 2.5 year deal.
Yeah.
They're going to go, man, I can't do 2.5 minutes, staying focused on something, but what you've done is just incredible. So great question.
Well, and I think related to that, it was, because really it was all, hey, go to the expert, to get help. And we wanted to create a tool, to give to disciple makers. Hey, you can take this. You don't have to be the expert. Lean into the program.
That's right.
And make disciples. And, which was different, than most other programs.
When you think about the future of what the Freedom Fight is going to have to do in order to keep up with the kind of nuances of what pornography is doing to young men that we're discipling, how do you see the Lord kind of extending His grace towards us? And what is a realistic plan for us as ministers to be able to combat that as we move forward from 2026?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think, we, with each lesson, man, there's biblical principles behind it. Just, we need to think principally based on the scripture. And then, as things change in the culture, we need to figure out, hey, how does this principle play out in different, situations? One of the more immediate, things is AI, and just, man, we're just starting to see, more and more ministers and believers, who are struggling with AI, and just, man, that just adds a kind of another dimension of all the principles apply. But man, it's just, essentially people can create their own porn in a very personalized, customized way. Most people are going to porn and they don't realize it for validation. Man, this is going to take it to a whole new level, because all AI does is give validation at a very personal level. And so I think the depth of addiction is,
About to ramp up.
About to ramp up.
That's what I've warned a lot of people of. There are about to be pornography videos created by AI agents specifically for you and only you. And if you are not walking in community and walking in the light, how in the world are you going to say no to it? Because it's going to know you better than you know yourself, and it's going to grip you. So we got to do something about it. AI is it's another game changer, I believe. Anybody else got a question?
Something we encountered yesterday during our evangelism on campus was a couple answers of this idea that basically akinning pornography to something like alcohol, where in moderation it's actually kind of could be even a good thing. What's something, not like a one-liner necessarily, but what's something super conversational that you found effective to kind of combat those common ideas? We talk about common lies from the enemy, and then common truths we can dispute those with from Scripture, but what's something maybe conversationally that quickly makes a little bit more sense in people's minds for us to kind of relate that in a conversation we have with an athlete on campus?
Yeah, no, that's good. And I think just kind of letting them, if they're a believer in God's word, has some authority in their life, then of course what Jesus says about when he warns about visual lust, he looks after a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery. If they're not a believer, even just leaning into the brain science that, man, what we're learning is, man, watching porn actually changes the brain and, man, actually diminishes a person's ability to enjoy sex and enjoy, the everyday pleasures of life. And so I've found that to be helpful, but just, it's like, and actually, as one example, Your Brain on Porn is a great book and resource written by an atheist. But man, it's just packed full of testimonies, and he's just like, I think he's the one that created NoFap. It's a big website trying to help, people break, free from porn. But man, just the testimonies and the science is like, man, you should think twice about, that, because there's a lot of research out there that, would say otherwise. So you got into that conversation when you were doing evangelism yesterday?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Lutheran guy too?
No, that was the former military guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that was the Lutheran guy too.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Lutheran. This one Lutheran guy was different.
Do you see it? I guess another question is, what is the biggest difference you see in like the freedom fight when it's like 18 to 25 versus like married men 30 and up? Like, is there any pushback or any difference or maybe different approaches? Like, yes, we disciple college athletes, but like also the freedom fight isn't just restricted to that. Like, obviously that's our avenue of ministry, but like the freedom fight is something we want to take to everyone. Like, what is maybe something unique if you had like maybe a Venn diagram, or what are some different things they have or some similarities of like older married men 35 and up and maybe 18 to college students? Like, what's some stuff that sticks out to you when you think of those two groups?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. And man, a couple things off the top of my head that, I've seen that have been different is the older guys typically have a stronger sense of urgency and to kind of do whatever it takes mentality. The younger guy, because he hasn't seen necessarily the impact of his, porn use, consequences. And so, to be honest, man, there's, which I don't know how much you've seen this, is, for the younger guys, there's, a certain level. It's like, well, hey, I want to get porn mostly out of my life, but because it takes, cutting media or social media, a lot of times guys aren't willing to do it, and it's like, well, man, I kind of want freedom, but I kind of don't want to give this up, and
It's been interesting that we've seen. So I told these guys in first conversations with guys, I'd be like, hey man, I know you're struggling with porn, we can help you. And they'd always been like, okay. But nobody would ever been like, no, I'm not. And y'all met Tim, our staff guy here, he can confirm. In the last probably year and a half, for the first time ever, we're having athletes and students in the first conversation, them telling us when they're just figuring out that you're in ministry, pornography is something I'm trying to get over. So that's kind of unique.
Wow.
It's the first time ever.
That's
Because
cool.
I've been doing this for many years, and most people are like, they don't want to talk about it or whatever. But to your question, a bunch of older people, they've seen the consequences, so they're desperate to get free from it. But then also, especially guys around my age, they want to handle it on their own. They don't want to do it in community. It's been something they've kept in the dark for so long. In fact, I did an anonymous ministers only freedom fight group. It was kind of unique, only through chat only. Told people how to sign up, create a fake Gmail account, send me the info, and then I'll send you the link. And so I had ministers only, and I was shocked at this. 6 out of the 7 of them were in their 60s or 70s. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
And one of them was in his 40s. And so that was shocking to me, that even the older generation, there's still so much shame. I walked them through all the videos, just telling them what to do. They would text back all their answers, but then I said, okay, this is kind of the end of the road for this. There's only so much you can do without being fully known. Like, you tested the water and seen that it's good. I will help you. Just reach out and let me know who you are, where you are, and I'll walk with you. Not one of them.
Not one of them.
Not one of them.
Wow.
Called me. Isn't that interesting?
That is.
There is
Yeah.
something to different generations.
And I do think, Cam, just kind of, to finish that thought, is I do think the lie that, college students or young singles can believe is, man, when I get married, that's going to fix my porn problem. And that's, even though, we tell them and other people tell them, it's like, yeah, but you don't know. And so I think that, that's a significant one where, hey, the guy whose wife is threatening divorce, and man, he's just at a different place.
Yep.
Which that's why, man, I love that you guys are here, man, doing the hard thing, man, to walk in freedom, because, man, that's what it takes.
Yeah, and for more clarity, I mean, these guys are living in the middle of the woods. I mean, you see me swiping bugs. Josh has taken how many of them off you since we've sat down? We're putting in work right now because we want to be men who other men want to follow, right? And I'm really proud of you guys. So one more question for Ted.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up. You got one?
Yeah, so for me, like, we're doing this digital detox, learning stuff about the Freedom Fight, relearning these things. Like, what do you think that looks like practically to, like, take that back to our campuses, to our homes? Because, I can't live in an RV with no electricity, no water, live in the woods.
You could.
I could,
But you not.
yeah, yeah, like, just even we were talking about with the guys, like how overwhelming it's going to be, like getting our phones back, because it's already partly overwhelming, like getting our phones back for an hour. Like, we get it back an hour on Sunday to, like, catch up, get back with people, but, like, how it's going to feel getting our phones back and actually, like, having it and kind of just doing whatever we want with it. So what can that look like to take? Because T-Mac was saying something, and it was very simple, but it was profound. Just like, this could be our last time, like, ever relapsing. Whatever our last relapse was, this could be our last time ever doing it. And I've taken that to heart, and I want to make sure I put those boundaries in place. But what do you think that, like, practically looks like after the river reset for
Yeah,
us?
no, that's good. Well, and I'm sure you guys are going to talk through this, but man, having the strong boundary, taking those strong boundaries with you back related to media, and, man, just having a good game plan of, hey, I know my triggers, I know my and I've got boundaries in place. Just recognizing, man, it's going to be easy not to walk in freedom, and it's going to be easy just to kind of start going down the media binge, that, it's like, well, hey, it's fine, or hey, it's just YouTube videos, or hey, it's like, and so just being, man, sober, because of, man, the foundation you guys are laying is significant, and, giving yourself, several months with, hey, I want to, man, have strong boundaries in place and limit myself, man, just to establish it, because, the tendency will be, too much too soon related to media.
Right.
And so, my encouragement would be, hey, I'd rather err on too little, versus too much, coming out of it. But I know this guy will get you a good plan.
Yeah, we're going to have a laid out what it's going to look like of all of us going back to our real lives. You know what I mean? And then also how you can help your students do the same thing, because it's going to be a lot easier for you to look at a student in the eye who's saying, I really want to walk with Jesus. And then you say, well, here's what you need to do. And then they start shrinking back and they'll be like, I've done it. You can do it too. Follow me as I follow Christ. That's what we're trying to do. So, All right, let's wrap this up. Cam, can you please tell this man how Freedom Fight can make so much more money? What we
Yes.
discussed
Oh
tonight.
my gosh.
We
yes.
have a business proposition
Yes, please,
for you.
please. Okay, so listen, we have this thing coming up. Okay, so it's been happening to us all the time. Some of us are out talking to friends and people after midnight. Okay, okay, and so we're not on our phones until we get back home. Okay, or if it's a late travel day, if I'm flying back and my plane got delayed, okay, and I forget to check in. Listen, 99 cents, buy your streak back, okay?
You can maintain
Come
your
on,
streak.
maintain your streak.
For 99 cents.
99 cents, okay?
Do you see the revenue stream for Freedom Fight?
Yes, come on, listen, and like there has to be like a comment. It can't just be like buy my streak. You can't just just be like was traveling, was with my buddies, blah blah blah. Like it has to be, you know what I mean? You can't. 99 cents. I just want a little cut. Give me 10 cents per buyback. That's it. Okay, and then another thing is crash report. Way too long.
Oh.
Way too long.
One more thing. And we keep getting logged out.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
trying
we
to go
keep-
on the app, and I'm getting logged out every time I try to go on the app. I'm getting logged
I've had to
out.
reset my password 3 times, man. I be forgetting.
No, if it's 11:59, I get logged out on the app and try to do my check, then I miss my check-in.
Yes.
You know
Now,
what I'm saying?
so I thought we had it where you can go and reset the time on when you're checking in, say after midnight. You can
You can go change
It's
that to
editable.
where it's like 1 to 1 a.m.
you can make it. You can go back and set it for the previous day if you missed.
I did not know this.
Oh, that's on us. We got to
You didn't even know, bro.
Man, we didn't need a
We don't
video.
have our
We need to
phones
put
to
the
check
black
it out,
shirt on and
so-
make a video about that.
Right,
That would help us.
literally, and navigate the app. No, I'm messing. No, we were joking about like buying back a string because a lot of us are like, maybe we're out with the friends at like for springboard we were out at Waffle House till 2:30 a.m. just with everybody, and then me and Josh are like, oh dude, our check-in streak's gone. Like just naturally.
I was told
But,
that we've added that, so I know we added it. I think
Okay.
we still have it.
Oh, that's
So
Buck. I'll get on that.
okay, sick.
Well, thanks, Ted. I think you're the man. Yeah, I think you know that, and we appreciate you. And if anybody's watching this and has questions, you can reach out to me, or you can check out the freedomfight.org